Let me give you a warning, a serious one. You can be busy every day. You can have a full calendar, a long to-do list, and still have nothing to show for it. Why? Because activity doesn't equal achievement. Effort doesn't guarantee progress. And here's the trap. You can spend your whole life majoring in minor things. You've got dreams, good. But if you're not careful, you'll trade them away for distractions, drama, and meaningless routines. You'll spend hours on gossip and call it social time. You'll binge entertainment and call it relaxing. You'll stay busy, but never build. That's the tragedy. And that's what this message is here to stop. This isn't just motivation. It's a wake-up call. Because while you're watering weeds, your garden is dying. While you're perfecting the unimportant, your purpose is being neglected. In the next few minutes, we're going to expose the habits, the people, the choices, the minor things that are quietly stealing your future. And more importantly, we're going to replace them with focus, clarity, and power. Because success belongs to the few who major in the majors. So if you're ready to stop spinning your wheels and finally get traction, stay with me. Your time matters, your life matters, but only if you treat it that way. Let's begin. The law of focus. What you concentrate on, you multiply. Let me start with a simple truth, but don't let the simplicity fool you. Whatever you focus on, expands. Focus is a magnifying glass, and whatever you put it over, gets bigger, gets louder, takes over. Now that's a blessing, if you're focusing on the right things. It's a curse if you're not. Let me ask you, are you focusing on your goals or your gossip? Are you concentrating on your craft or your complaints? Are you investing your mind into building something or blaming something? Because here's the principle. Energy flows where attention goes, and whatever you feed grows. You get more of what you pay attention to. If you focus on problems, you'll find more of them. If you focus on setbacks, your mind will make them permanent. But if you focus on solutions, on learning, on growth, your life starts to shift. It's not magic. It's not mystery. It's mental discipline. Focus is not just about saying yes to the right thing. It's about saying no to 100 distractions that want your time, your energy, and your future. You see, most people don't fail because they lack effort. They fail because they lack aim. You can row your boat all day, but if you're headed in the wrong direction, you only get further off course. Focus requires subtraction, not just addition. You don't need more apps. You don't need another book you won't finish. You don't need another podcast running in the background. What you need is less noise and more clarity, less clutter, more conviction. The secret to focus is elimination, not piling on more things to do, but removing the things that don't matter. Get this down. A clear no is more powerful than a weak yes. The mind is a garden, and focus is the water. Your mind is fertile ground. It doesn't care what you plant. Flowers or weeds, it'll grow it just the same. Focus is the water. The more you water the weeds, the faster they take over. The more you water the dream, the deeper the roots grow. So I'll ask you again, what are you concentrating on? Are you focused on who hurt you or who you're becoming? Are you focused on the paycheck or the purpose? Are you focused on what's missing or what's possible? The direction of your attention determines the direction of your life. Concentrated effort multiplies progress. Let me give you a simple illustration. Take a magnifying glass and put it over the sun. If you keep moving it around, it'll warm a little, then nothing. But hold it still, directly over one spot, and it'll start a fire. Same sun, same power. The difference is focus. Your talent is not the problem. Your passion is not the problem. Your potential is not the problem. The problem is you're letting it scatter. No fire, no impact. Just heat with no burn. But the moment you concentrate, the moment you commit, the moment you lock in on what matters, you create traction, progress, and momentum. That's when things begin to move. That's when the wheel turns. That's when success starts to chase you. Action step, build a focus filter. Here's your challenge. For the next 7 days, ask yourself this question before you do anything. Is this moving me toward my goal or away from it? If it's not aligned, if it doesn't matter, if it doesn't multiply your mission, don't do it. Don't overthink. Don't justify. Just say not today. And if you do this consistently, you'll start to notice something powerful. Less chaos, more clarity, less frustration, more results. Because you've stopped majoring in the minors. You've activated the law of focus, and now you're multiplying the right things. The daily audit. What's stealing your time, energy, and emotion? Let's get honest for a minute. If you ever feel like you're working hard but going nowhere, if your days feel full but your life feels empty, there's a good chance you're under attack. Not from outside forces, not from enemies, but from a silent thief living in your routine. It doesn't break down the door, it doesn't scream or shout, it just quietly, slowly steals your time, your energy, your emotional strength. And if you don't do a daily audit, you'll keep handing it over and never notice it's gone. Busyness is not progress, it's just motion. People say, I'm so busy, and I say, busy doing what? Because here's the reality, you can be fully booked and still bankrupt. Emotionally, financially, spiritually. You can be active and still not be effective. Motion is not movement. Effort is not impact. Your calendar might be full, but is your life moving forward? Let me give you a principle. If you don't track it, you can't correct it. And if you don't pause to examine what you're doing, you're likely repeating what's hurting. Time is like money, and most people waste it worse. You wouldn't hand your credit card to a stranger and say, spend whatever you want, but you'll scroll for hours, watch junk, argue with people you'll never meet, and call it normal. That's how we lose the most valuable currency we have, time. Here's the hard truth. The minor things don't show up like thieves. They show up like breaks, rewards, or routine. But if you're not careful, they become habits that devour your destiny. You don't need to quit your job or move to the mountains. You just need to audit your day. The audit. What's stealing what? Let me give you 3 questions to ask every single day. 1. What stole my time today? Look back. Be honest. How many minutes or hours were spent on meaningless repetition? Scrolling, snacking, stalling, switching tabs, talking about nothing. Time is sneaky. It disappears in small slices. 5 minutes here, 15 minutes there. But when you add it up, you've lost the day and the compound interest of what it could have built. 2. What drained my energy? Not just time, but emotional investment. Who pulled you into drama that didn't belong to you? What task exhausted you? Not because it was hard, but because it was pointless. Energy is fuel, and most people run out before they run the race. Why? Because they burn it on everything but the mission. 3. What distracted my mind and pulled me away from my priorities? What took you off course? What urgent thing made you drop the important one? Every day, life tries to bait you with something loud, shiny, or urgent. But you've got to ask, was it a priority or just pressure? Awareness is the first step to authority. You can't master a life you're not aware of. You can't manage what you refuse to measure. That's why this audit isn't optional. It's essential, because clarity is power. And once you see the leaks, you can start sealing them. Your future doesn't just need more effort. It needs more intention. Action step: the 3-box method. Tonight, before bed, draw 3 boxes on paper. Label them: time wasters, energy drains, emotional triggers. Then fill them in. You'll be shocked at what shows up. Now underline 1 in each box. And tomorrow, just for one day, cut that one out. Just one. That's how change begins. Not in a frenzy, but in focus. Because once you own your day, you start to own your life. And once you stop giving away your time, energy, and emotion to things that don't matter, you finally make space for the things that do. Entertainment versus education. The 5-hour trade that builds fortunes. Let me tell you something that might sting a little. Most people are over-entertained and undereducated. They spend more time laughing at jokes on a screen than learning the skills that could change their future. They binge shows, not books. They scroll opinions, not ideas. Now, I'm not saying entertainment is wrong. We all need a break. We all need a laugh. But here's the danger. When the breaks become the habit, and the habit becomes the lifestyle, you start trading your potential for pleasure. And that's a very expensive trade. The subtle trap of just one more episode. It starts small. Just one video. Just one episode. Just one more scroll before bed. But here's the principle. What you do occasionally has very little impact. What you do consistently defines your life. You want to build a fortune, build a future, build a life you're proud of? Then don't waste the hours meant for growth on things that offer no return. Education is the investment that pays forever. You see, entertainment costs you. Education pays you. Entertainment gives you a moment. Education gives you momentum. Entertainment helps you escape. Education helps you elevate. I used to say, formal education will make you a living. Self-education will make you a fortune. So the question is simple. Are you investing your time or spending it? The 5-hour rule, how the winners do it. There's a principle followed by some of the wealthiest and wisest people on the planet. It's called the 5-hour rule. They dedicate at least 1 hour a day, 5 days a week, to intentional learning, reading, listening, studying, reflecting. 5 hours a week, just 5. Not 5 hours on top of a 70-hour grind. No, just 5 hours redirected from what doesn't matter to what does. 1 less hour of television, 1 less hour of mindless scrolling, 1 less hour wasted, and 1 more hour invested. Now multiply that over 52 weeks. That's 260 hours of education a year. Do you have any idea what kind of skill, strategy, or strength you could build in that time? That's the trade. And for those who make it, life changes. Most people escape instead of evolve. Now let me get serious. Most people say, I don't have time to read, but somehow they know every detail about the latest TV show, sports stat, or celebrity scandal. And here's the truth. They're not lying to you. They're lying to themselves. It's not a time issue. It's a priority issue. It's a focus issue. It's a discipline issue. And until you change that, nothing changes. You don't need a new schedule. You need a new standard. Action step, the 5-hour challenge. Here's your challenge. This week, find 5 hours. 5 hours to turn off the noise. 5 hours to open your mind. 5 hours to feed your future. Replace 1 hour of Netflix with 1 hour of reading, 1 hour of scrolling with 1 hour of a podcast, 1 hour of gossip with 1 hour of journaling. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be intentional. Because the compound effect is real. 5 hours this week could be 500 hours this year. And 500 hours could be the difference between staying stuck and stepping into something extraordinary. Final thought. Choose to be a student, not just a spectator. The marketplace doesn't pay for opinions. It pays for value. And value comes from growth. So while others watch, you learn. While others escape, you evolve. While others entertain, you educate. And years from now, when people ask, how did you do it? You'll smile and say, I made the trade. I gave up noise for knowledge. And that, my friend, is the start of a fortune. Say no more often. The power of selective living. Let me give you a sentence that could change your life. Every yes is a no to something else. Think about that. Every time you say yes, yes to the invitation, yes to the distraction, yes to the obligation, you're saying no to something else. Your goals, your growth, your priorities. Most people don't lose their future all at once. They give it away one yes at a time, to the wrong things, the wrong people, the wrong direction. And here's what I want to teach you today. The key to success isn't doing more. It's doing less, better. Selectivity is strength. You can't do it all, and you don't have to. That's the lie. The truth, greatness is built by people who say no. A lot. They say no to distractions, no to energy drainers, no to anything that pulls them away from the mission. See, the word no has power. It builds boundaries. It protects focus. It honors your time. When you say no to the minor, you're really saying yes to the major, the disease of approval. Now let's talk about something that holds a lot of people back. The need to please everyone. You want to be liked. You want to be nice. You don't want to disappoint. So you say yes. Yes to every request. Yes to every favor. Yes to every favor. Can you help me real quick? But let me tell you something. Nice people go broke. Nice people burn out. Nice people major in other people's priorities and never live their own. You don't owe anyone your life. And you can't build your dream in a room full of obligations you never meant to accept. You're not selfish for protecting your time. You're wise. Say no with purpose, not apology. Let's redefine no. No doesn't mean rude. No doesn't mean arrogant. No doesn't mean you don't care. No simply means that doesn't serve my mission right now. And you don't have to explain it. You don't have to defend it. You just have to say it and stand by it. Practice saying no. You don't need to wait for a crisis to draw the line. Start small. Practice it. Say no. I won't commit to that right now. No, I'm focusing on something else at the moment. No, I appreciate the invite, but I have to pass. And here's the magic. Every no you say to the unimportant gives you space for the extraordinary. Guard your calendar like a fortress. Your calendar should be sacred. It's not a suggestion box. It's a reflection of your values. Start asking, does this serve my goals? Does this align with who I want to become? Is this a should or a must? If it's not a must, It's a maybe. And maybe usually means no, because the life you want is on the other side of the word no. Final thought. You can't add greatness without subtracting distraction. Most people are drowning, not in failure, but in overcommitment. Too many irons in the fire, too many open tabs, too many directions, and no destination. But here's your permission. You don't have to do everything. You just have to do the right things. The vital few, the things that matter most. So take back your time, take back your peace, take back your focus. Say no, boldly, calmly, intentionally. Not out of resistance, but out of respect for your purpose, your vision, and your future. Because when you start living selectively, you start living powerfully. Relationships that reinforce or ruin your focus. There's a reason they say you become the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Because whether you notice it or not, the people around you are shaping your habits, your mindset, and your results. And here's the reality most never face. Some of your greatest distractions are walking around with a smile, calling themselves your friend. This chapter is going to challenge you, not to judge people, but to discern them, not to cut people out, but to level yourself up. Because if you're trying to fly high, you can't keep running with people who crawl. Association is not neutral, it's directional. Every relationship has energy. It either lifts you, drains you, or keeps you stuck. There are 3 kinds of people in your life right now. The builders. They challenge you, stretch you, support your vision. The blinders. They don't do damage, but they don't push you forward either. The breakers. They distract, complain, criticize, and derail your momentum. Now here's the key. You get to choose who stays close. You can love people without letting them lead your life. You can respect people without letting them rent space in your head. Who's in your circle and who shouldn't be? Ask yourself, who do I leave conversations with? Feeling sharper, clearer, stronger? Who do I leave feeling drained, doubtful, or distracted? Who talks about goals? Who talks about gossip? Who pushes me to think bigger? Who pulls me into excuses? If the people around you aren't helping you focus on the major things, they're pulling you into the minor things. And that's no small cost. One negative voice in your ear can delay your dream for years. Protect your focus like it's your fortune. Your dream is fragile in its early stages. It needs care. It needs fuel. It needs focus. So you have to build what I call a mental gatekeeper. Not everyone gets to walk through the door of your attention. You decide who enters. I said stand guard at the door of your mind. That means you don't just let opinions in. You don't just absorb attitudes, habits, or doubts. Like a sponge, you filter them. You examine them. You decide because your mind is not a dumping ground. It's a garden, and gardens need boundaries. Stop letting the wrong people set the temperature. Have you ever walked into a room full of negativity and felt your energy drop? That's real. People set the emotional climate, and if you don't bring your own thermostat, you'll start living at their temperature. You want to stay on fire for your goals. Don't spend your days with people who live in emotional winter. Be around the driven, the disciplined, the focused, the people who talk about growth like it's normal, because for them it is action step. The relationship filter. Take inventory, list the 5 people you spend the most time with. Then ask, do they sharpen me? Do they honor my time and growth? Do they reflect the future I want or the past I'm trying to outgrow? Now don't panic. This isn't about cutting everyone off. It's about repositioning. Some people need to move from daily contact to occasional conversation. Some from front row to back seat. Some need more distance, not because you're better, but because you're building. And builders need clarity. They need alignment. They need reinforcement. Final thought. The right people don't distract you. They direct you. At the end of the day, success is rarely solo, but it's always selective. So choose wisely. Choose people who feed your faith, not your fear. People who ignite your discipline, not drain your drive. People who help you major in what matters. Because who you walk with will determine how far and how fast you go. Learn to delay the lesser so you can build the greater. Let me share something that separates the average from the excellent. The ability to delay the lesser so you can build the greater. It's not about talent. It's not about luck. It's not even about hard work. It's about what you're willing to wait for. Because here's the truth. Most people trade what they want, most for what they want now. And in that moment, they don't just lose the goal. They lose the discipline, the momentum, the identity of someone who is becoming more. The candy principle. Don't take the treat too soon. Ever heard of the marshmallow test? They put a marshmallow in front of a child and said, "You can eat this one now, or wait 15 minutes and get two." Most kids took the one, but the few who waited, years later, they were more successful, healthier, more focused. Why? Because they learned what most adults never do. The power of delayed gratification. Let me break it down. Fast food gives you pleasure now, but pain later. Discipline gives you pain now, but power later. And the ones who wait for the second marshmallow, in whatever form it shows up, they win. Your future is built on the things you postpone. Ask yourself, can you delay the show to read the book? Can you delay the scroll to build the skill? Can you delay the purchase to grow the investment? Because what you delay reveals what you value. Every not now becomes a brick in the foundation of something greater. Not something easy, not something instant, but something worth it. Success is rarely about doing more. It's about doing less of what doesn't matter, until the time is right. The problem with "I deserve it." Now let's talk about one of the most dangerous phrases in modern life. I deserve it. You had a long day, so you binge. You hit one goal, so you coast. You feel pressure, so you give in to comfort. And before you know it, your standards have slipped. Not because you failed, but because you rewarded yourself too early. Listen, you deserve peace, fulfillment, freedom, but you don't deserve to trade your legacy for another temporary feel-good. You can't build a castle if you stop at every candy stand along the way. Greatness is sacrifice in disguise. Every great athlete, they train while others sleep. Every great entrepreneur, they reinvest while others spend. Every great artist, leader, builder, they delay comfort because they see something greater on the horizon. Here's the paradox. You don't get the reward when you want it. You get it when you've earned it. But most people don't want to wait. They want to feel good now and hope life works out later. That's not strategy. That's sabotage. Action step, practice micro delays. Let's make this simple. Start today. Small but strong. Want to check your phone? Wait 10 minutes. Want to eat the snack? Drink water and wait 15. Want to buy the shiny thing? Sit on it for 24 hours. Every time you wait, you win, because you're proving that you're in charge, not your impulses. And the more you delay, the lesser, the more your mind believes, I am someone who chooses purpose over pleasure. That belief, that identity, that's how champions are built. Final thought, not now doesn't mean never. It means I'm building. Delaying isn't denial, it's design. You're not rejecting the good, you're creating space for the great. So the next time temptation knocks, say, I could, but not yet. I'm building something that lasts, because here's the secret. The greater things, they're not found at the finish line. They're forged in the waiting. And every moment you choose to delay the lesser, you become the kind of person who deserves the greater. Your calendar doesn't lie. Show me your schedule, I'll show you your future. Let me give it to you straight. You can tell me your goals. You can show me your vision board. You can talk about your dream life. But if I open your calendar and I don't see it scheduled, it's not real. It's just a hope, a wish, a someday. And here's the problem with someday. It never shows up on the calendar. So if you're serious about change, if you're serious about results, you've got to stop measuring your intention and start managing your schedule. Because your calendar doesn't lie. It tells the truth about what you're really committed to. A day is a life in miniature. Every day is a vote for who you're becoming, or who you're settling to remain. If you waste a day, you've wasted a chance to build. If you master a day, you've taken one more step toward mastery. That's why I say don't just let the day happen. Design it. Don't just fill it. Shape it. You can't live accidentally and succeed intentionally. That's not how life works. Time is the most honest feedback you'll ever get. Want to know your true priorities? Check your schedule. Say your goal is to build a business, but there's no time blocked for planning, learning, or marketing. Then it's not your priority. Say your goal is health, but there's no meal prep, no workouts, no rest scheduled. Then it's not your priority. The truth isn't in your words, it's in your rhythm. Because how you use your hours is how you build your outcome. The key is intentional blocks, not endless lists. Some people say, I use a to-do list. That's good, but here's better. A time-blocked calendar. Because a list tells you what to do, but a calendar tells you when to do it. And until you assign a time, that task is just an idea, floating in the wind. Here's what the focus do. They pick a time. They show up. They honor that time like a meeting with their future. The repeat offenders, where focus goes to die. Let me show you the patterns that keep people stuck. I'll get to it later. No, you won't. If it's not scheduled, it gets swallowed by distraction. I'm too busy. Then your life is out of alignment, because the important always makes time for itself. I don't have a routine. That is your routine, and it's costing you everything. The question isn't whether you have time. The question is whether you have clarity. Action step. The power hour and the non-negotiables. Let's start simple. Pick 1 hour a day and make it sacred. Call it your power hour. Use it to learn, create, strategize, build. Then set 3 non-negotiables in your day. Example, 30 minutes of reading, 1 hour of focused work, 20 minutes of movement. Put them in your calendar. Not on a napkin, not in your mind, in ink or digital stone. Because what gets scheduled, gets done. Want to predict your future? Look at next week. Let me ask you something bold. Pull up your schedule for the next 7 days and ask yourself, if I lived this week 52 times, would it take me where I want to go? If the answer is no, don't panic. Just adjust the pattern. Because success is not about a perfect day. It's about a repeatable one, a system, a rhythm, a structure that supports your mission. Final thought. Your calendar is a mirror and a map. It shows you where your time is going, but it also shows you where it could go if you took control. Don't just track time, transform time. Don't just react to the day, rule the day. Because if your goals matter, they deserve space. If your dreams matter, they deserve priority. If your future matters, it must be scheduled. So go look at your calendar and don't ask, what do I have to do? Ask, who am I becoming with this day? That's how champions live. That's how success gets built, one calendar block at a time. Goals or good intentions? What's really driving you? Let me ask you something direct. Are you setting real goals, or are you just making good intentions sound productive? Because there's a difference. A big one. Good intentions say, I want to lose weight. Goals say, I'll walk 30 minutes at 7 a.m., 5 days a week. Good intentions say, I want to start a business someday. Goals say, I'll spend 1 hour every night building the business plan, starting tonight. See the difference? One sounds nice, the other gets done. One feels good in conversation. The other forces you to change your calendar, your habits, and your life. Good intentions are comfortable. Goals are confrontational. Good intentions are like soft pillows. They make you feel better while you stay the same. But real goals, they interrupt you. They demand something. They challenge your laziness, your excuses, your distractions. That's why most people avoid setting true goals. Not because they don't have dreams, but because they don't want to face what real pursuit will cost. Goals come with pressure, but pressure is what produces diamonds. If you're not feeling a little friction, you're probably just daydreaming. You need a target, not a cloud. Let's get clear. You can't hit what you can't see. You can't chase what you haven't defined. So many people say they want success, but ask them to define it, and they give you a paragraph of fluff, vague desires, empty words, no structure. Here's the rule. If your goal doesn't have a deadline, a number, or a habit, it's not a goal. It's just noise. You don't need more noise. You need direction. You don't need another list of wishes. You need a mission, the power of specific goals. Let me give you something practical. A goal should answer 3 questions. What exactly do I want? By when? What action will I take consistently to get it? For example, I want to be healthier. I will prepare meals at home 5 days a week and exercise for 45 minutes every morning before 8 a.m. That's clear. That's scheduled. That's real. The difference isn't in the desire, it's in the design. Good intentions don't survive pressure. Goals do. Here's what happens to good intentions. Life gets busy, and they disappear. You hit a setback, and they crumble. Someone questions you, and you second-guess everything. But real goals, they're different. They survive storms. They don't need applause. They don't disappear when it's hard. They intensify. Because goals are decisions made in advance. This is who I'm becoming. This is what I will do. And this is what I'm willing to sacrifice to get there. Action step. The goal audit. Let's do a quick audit, right now. Write down your top 3 goals. Then ask, are they specific? Are they measurable? Are they on my calendar? Do they require me to grow? If the answer is no to any of those, upgrade the goal. Add a number, add a date, add a habit, add accountability. Because you're not here to kind of succeed. You're here to win, with clarity. Final thought, don't confuse movement with meaning. It's easy to be busy. It's easy to feel inspired. But what are you building? Where are you headed? On purpose. Good intentions won't get you there. Only focused, measurable, purpose-driven goals will. And when your goals are aligned with your vision, when they're tied to something bigger than your mood, you stop quitting when it's hard, and you start growing when it counts. So don't just think about what you want. Define it, design it, declare it, because when you finally know what's really driving you, you stop drifting and start building. Build a philosophy that filters the frivolous. Let me tell you what most people never stop to consider. Your life is a reflection of your philosophy, not your job, not your family, not your background. Your philosophy, that's the collection of ideas, beliefs, and principles that guide your decisions, whether you're aware of it or not. And here's the problem. Most people don't have a philosophy. They have reactions, they don't think. They repeat, they don't decide. They drift, so they waste their time on distractions. They say yes to everything loud and urgent. They fill their life with noise and wonder why it's so hard to hear their purpose. But when you build a philosophy, a real one, you develop a filter, a compass, a way to separate what's vital from what's just clutter. Your philosophy is the root, and it determines the fruit. It's simple. If your thinking is shallow, your habits will be scattered. If your beliefs are reactive, your results will be random. But if your philosophy is strong, your decisions become strategic. Let me ask you, what do you believe about time, about money, about discipline, growth, and responsibility? Because your beliefs, conscious or not, are steering your ship. And you can't build a life of excellence on a philosophy of mediocrity. Without a filter, everything feels urgent. You ever feel overwhelmed, scattered, pulled in 20 directions at once? It's not always a time problem. It's often a philosophy problem. You don't have a system for deciding what matters and what doesn't. So everything gets through the gate. The email, the drama, the opinions, the offers, the noise. You need a filter. You need a way to ask, does this serve my purpose? Does this align with who I'm becoming? If not, it's frivolous. And frivolous things don't deserve major attention. Philosophy gives you the power to decide before you're pressured. When your philosophy is clear, decisions become easier. Why? Because you already decided before the moment arrived. You don't need to think twice. You don't need to get approval. You don't need to debate. Your philosophy says, I invest before I indulge. I grow daily, not occasionally. I honor my word, even when it's hard. I don't chase attention. I chase alignment. Those aren't just nice sayings. They're anchors. They hold you steady when life tries to shake you off course. Action step. Define your top 5 filters. Here's how you build your personal philosophy. One that filters out the fluff and pulls in what matters. Step 1. Write down your core values. What do you believe in deeply? Step 2. Turn them into daily filters. Let me give you examples. If it's not on purpose, it's off the table. If it doesn't make me better, it's a no. If I say it, I schedule it. If I complain, I correct. If it costs my peace, it's too expensive. Now use those filters when you plan your day, when you respond to people, when you face a decision. Soon they become second nature. And suddenly, your life feels cleaner, more focused, more intentional. Final thought. Live by a philosophy, not by pressure. Most people are tossed by the waves of life. One distraction after another, one drama after another, one excuse after another, but not you. You're going to build a framework. You're going to filter the frivolous and focus on the foundational, because your philosophy, not your feelings, should run your life. And here's the best part. When your philosophy is right, your future is inevitable. So stop letting life decide for you. You decide, you lead, you live by principle, not by pressure. The price of success is paid in priorities. Let me make something very clear. Success is never free. It doesn't go on sale. It doesn't take coupons. And it certainly doesn't show up just because you want it. Success is expensive, but not in money, in priorities. Because everything in life has a cost. The question isn't, will I pay? The question is, what am I paying for, and is it worth it? Most people are paying in full, but for the wrong things. They pay in time. They pay in energy. They pay in missed opportunities. And they pay it all to minor things. Priorities reveal the path and the price. You say you want a better life. Good, but what's getting your mornings? You say you want more income. Great, but what's getting your evenings? You say you want to grow. Excellent, but what's getting your weekends? Because what you prioritize, you purchase. Every yes is an investment, and every no is a decision to protect that investment. So ask yourself, are you investing your life or just spending it. Confusion destroys commitment. Most people don't fail because they lack desire. They fail because they're unclear. They don't know what matters most, so they try to do it all. And when you try to do everything, you dilute your strength. It's like watering 100 plants one drop at a time and wondering why none of them grow. But winners, they water one seed with focused, consistent attention. They pay the price in advance. They build habits before hype. They choose sacrifice over scattered motion. And as a result, they grow something fruitful. The myth of balance and the truth about sacrifice. People talk about balance. They want to be balanced, calm, centered. But let me tell you, balance is a luxury. At the beginning, success requires imbalance. You've got to tip the scale toward growth, tip the scale toward discipline, tip the scale toward action. That means saying no to fun, no to comfort, no to things that feel good now but cost you later. That's not punishment. That's alignment. The price of success is not pain, it's priority. And you pay it by design, or you pay it by default. Action step. The priority pyramid. Here's a tool to realign your focus. Draw a pyramid with 3 levels. Top tier non-negotiables. Your daily musts. These get done no matter what. Middle tier, supportive tasks. Nice to do, but not essential. These get scheduled around the top tier. Bottom tier, low return activities. Time fillers, noise, distractions. These are cut, limited, or delegated. Now ask yourself each day, am I living at the top of the pyramid, or am I buried under the bottom? Because the quality of your life depends on where you live inside your day. Final thought, you don't get the life you wish for. You get the life you prioritize. Listen carefully. Don't prioritize being busy. Prioritize being effective. Don't prioritize popularity. Prioritize progress. Don't prioritize the urgent. Prioritize the important. Because if you don't decide what matters, the world will decide for you, and it won't choose growth. It won't choose focus. It won't choose greatness. That's your job. So today, take full responsibility. Look at your life, your calendar, your habits, your relationships, and ask, are these aligned with what I say I want? If not, adjust, refocus, rebuild your life around what matters most, because that's the price of success, and those who are willing to pay it, get it. Let's wrap this up strong. Don't lose the dream over pennies and petty things. Let me leave you with a final warning and a final invitation. Don't lose the dream over pennies and petty things. You've been given a vision, a future, a life that could be rich in meaning, purpose, and contribution. But here's the danger. It won't be stolen in one big moment. It'll be chipped away, little by things that don't even matter. Distractions, drama, doubt, deadlines you didn't set, demands you didn't question. It's not the mountain that keeps most people from climbing. It's the pebbles in their shoes, the minor things, the great tragedy, a major life wasted on minor things. Every day, people trade their potential for the trivial, their future for familiarity, their purpose for popularity. They major in gossip, major in excuses, major in scrolling, procrastinating, reacting, and all the while, their dreams quietly wither in the corner. And then one day they look back and wonder, where did the time go? It went to the minors, and they never even knew it. This is your wake-up call. You don't have unlimited energy. You don't have unlimited focus. You don't have unlimited time. What you do have is the power to choose. So choose to cut the clutter. Choose to stop feeding what drains you. Choose to stop answering to everything just because it's loud. Choose to major in what matters. Because your dream, it's waiting for a version of you that knows what to ignore. Don't let penny distractions rob you of purpose wealth. A few more minutes on the wrong website. A few more days entertaining the wrong people. A few more weeks putting off the right decision. And before you know it, you've spent your golden years trying to recover the lost years. Don't let that be your story. Pay attention. Guard your mind. Protect your focus like it's your fortune. Because it is. Remember, you don't need more talent. You don't need more approval. You need more clarity. You need more standards. You need more intentionality. That's what separates the fulfilled from the frustrated, the builders from the busy, the extraordinary from the exhausted. Final charge. Keep the dream. Drop the distractions. This is your moment. The message has been given. The tools are in your hands. Now ask yourself, what am I doing today that adds to the dream? What am I tolerating that's draining me? What one thing will I stop giving my attention to? Starting now. Because the only thing worse than never having a dream is having one and losing it to petty things. Don't let it happen. Live with focus. Live with clarity. live with urgency, and above all, major in the majors. That's where the life you want is waiting.